Hey guys,
Yo.
what does Spider-Man put in his beverages?
Go ahead.
Just ice.
Jesus. I was
Like
expecting
justice?
expecting something along the lines of like webbing or something like that.
You're the worst.
Nope, it's always bad with me.
Leave it.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Escape Podcast. My name is Cameron Haug.
Justin Lindsay.
And I'm Zach Fielder. Today was a pretty good day.
I think
It's
so.
a blast.
Yeah, we got out, I got out of work early. These two knuckleheads were already together, and we all
Saw Spider-Man.
we just hopped in. And was
All
like,
for the
let's-
second time for each of us.
Yeah.
So good
but,
second viewing there.
But we did it for you guys because we want to bring you today a review of the movie, our first movie review.
Spider-Man Homecoming 2017.
And, I mean, this always puts a twinkle in Justin's eye because he's a huge MCU person.
Yes, I love
Loves
it.
Marvel to death.
Dude, I love them all.
There is no... You can't be biased towards comic books, all right? If you are, you're just ignorant. You're not a true comic
I mean,
lover.
you absolutely can be biased. I'm sure there's Marvel fanboys and DC fanboys who go at war with each other based upon this shit.
This isn't like Fanboys where it's the Trekkies versus the Star Wars guys.
Not anymore. It's very integrated now. Everybody's just like loving it all. But
Okay.
I mean, they all have like their like high points and their low points. Like MCU's definitely Marvel's high point. Not so much with the DC.
Although DC's animated universe, no one can hold a
Yeah.
candle to it. Marvel's tried.
Let us not forget Batman versus Superman, though.
Yeah.
Get
Wonder
out.
Woman, they're starting to go back up, though.
Oh, wait, no, Wonder
Wonder
Woman.
Woman.
Woman's been their saving grace, so
Yeah,
hopefully they
that's
can
great.
continue that.
All right. So, Zach told me you got some news.
I
for
do.
us
I
today,
got
then?
some. I got
I do
some
too.
news. Okay.
Double whammy,
Justin,
you guys.
Justin
You're
first.
welcome.
Me first. Now I've read a
Justin?
couple, so you can go.
Okay. Well, so Todd McFarlane has announced last year. This isn't really new, but there's been recent developments. Last year, Todd McFarlane announced he is doing a new Spawn movie. And if any of you remember, Spawn was a movie in 1997 starring Michael J. White. It was the first live-action adaptation of Spawn. I mean, I kind of liked it. Nostalgic purposes, I watched it a lot as a kid. I was a big Spawn fan. Looking back at it now, I mean, if I take out the nostalgia reasons, it was a subpar movie at best. Wouldn't you agree, Justin?
Yeah, it was all right.
I mean, as a kid, though, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool.
I mean, but we get these movies once every 2 months now. These comic book movies that are just stepping us to the edge, and you're like, oh my god. But back then, you didn't get that, so
Right.
it was just like, oh my god, this is something that you just don't see.
So he is now working with Blumhouse Productions, specifically Jason Blum. He's the guy who was behind movies like Get Out, Split,
Fuck yeah.
and the Paranormal Activity franchise.
He's got a lot of reputation behind him.
He's got some good stuff behind him. Todd McFarlane himself is personally writing the script for this movie, and he's went on record claiming that this is not a direct continuation of the 1997 movie, more or less a new and modern adaptation, a rated R adaptation.
So, just a straight reboot? Or are we talking like a soft reboot? Like
Straight reboot.
Okay, so no C-boot on this one.
No, this is not going to be light. This is a straight reboot.
Okay.
That's about... and I guess a little backstory behind Spawn. Spawn actually debuted in 1992, so it only took 5 years to make a movie out of it. And I think the HBO series was before 1997, but Spawn is by Image Comics. I'm not gonna give away the story if any of you guys actually like reading comics. If you like gory, mature, like hell and demons and stuff like that. This is a very good comic. I highly suggest reading it. It's by Image Comics. But that's about all I got. What about you, Justin?
Spawn movie coming out. What do you got, Justin?
Well, San Diego Comic Con's going on right now, so we got a bunch of stuff from them. But Young Justice coming out soon.
A new season.
Yeah, the third season's coming out, but they put out the...
I have such an erection right now.
I know. They put out the list of characters.
A rockin' erection? Is that what that was?
It is a rocking erection right
An
now.
erection.
Like, rocking erection.
Cool.
Have you ever watched Young Justice?
I don't know.
Oh,
what
it's
it is.
amazing.
Go to Netflix. Go to Netflix.
Is it a Netflix original?
No, it was on Cartoon Network.
Oh,
It
okay.
was back when the Justice League and stuff was at the height,
Oh, I
height of
remember
its
that.
peak.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it is so good.
It's such a good show.
Like I said, DC's animated universe, you cannot touch it. It's
I know.
amazing.
But they put out their cast they put out all the characters that are going to be in it, the main characters. So you got Static, Kid Flash, Robin, possibly new Robin.
Say Damian Wayne?
Probably Damian. Wonder Girl, spoilers in it. Blue Beetle, 13 is a new character. Arrowette, Arsenal's in it still.
Arsenal's going to be a mentor now. He's going to be old.
I know, and Beast Boy, obviously.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So I love Beast Boy.
Yeah, so we're pretty much taking the characters from the second season who were trainees, and now they're the mentors to a new bunch.
Kind of a new group over there.
This is the third generation of our young Justice heroes.
And then we've got Watchmen will meet the Justice League soon. Jeff Johns is working on the new comic Doomsday Clock, and he showed a few art clips from it. If you want to go on burstmoviedead.com, they've got the article up there.
How can anything be compared to fucking Dr. Manhattan or Mr. Manhattan though? Because like he's the most powerful being in all of
I know.
existence.
And it's
Superman looks like a Boy Scout. Well, he's a Boy Scout. Superman looks like a little baby next to Mr. Manhattan
yes.
or Dr. Manhattan.
Okay.
But yeah, they released some images from it, and it looks like it's going to be good. I hope it's as good as Rebirth. That whenever they did that #1 issue, and
Yeah.
they just kept us on the line and they kept us waiting, and then they put out the button just recently. And
Cameron, have you ever seen Watchmen?
You know, I haven't.
If you have about 3 hours to spare, I'll let you borrow the movie.
Okay, I should.
great movie.
You're saying I should watch The Watchmen?
I think you should read it, but you should watch it.
Watchmen was one of the most highly acclaimed DC comic
I'm
series.
told it was very good. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Shit. Wasn't Jim Carrey in it?
No, that was Kick-Ass.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Kick-Ass was good too. But yeah, I'll let you borrow Watchmen. It's a phenomenal movie.
Is that all the news we have for today, guys?
And on a lower note, we got they've got in works a Joker versus Harley Quinn movie. You might
Live action or animated?
live action. Yeah, I don't know about
Jared Leto
that.
wasn't my favorite Joker.
Not me at all, but
I'm
they've
more
got
of
it
a
up. I mean, that
Ledger
came
kind
from San Diego Comic
I
Con.
mean, everyone yells at me. My favorite Joker is Mark Hamill.
Yeah, me too.
guy.
Hands down.
I'm more of a Ledger kind of guy.
Yeah, Ledger was great, but Mark Hamill, you just
Great voice acting.
yes.
That is the Joker.
All right, that's all the
I
news
don't know.
I have.
What about what was his name? Romero, the guy who refused to shave his fucking mustache.
Oh
for the
yeah,
Joker,
the
so
one with
they
the
just put
Adam
makeup
West.
over it. Yeah,
With the
yeah.
Adam West, yeah.
That was bad. Okay, so that being said, I guess let's get into today's topic. Today, we are going to essentially be giving a somewhat spoiler-free review. We're going to cut it off to a certain point.
Spoiler free. I mean,
So-
here's a spoiler warning right now because I mean, there's
No,
going to
no,
be
no.
some things we're talking about that's you can't avoid it.
That's just the thing, though. After a certain point,
We're gonna go.
We're
into our
gonna go
spoilers.
full-on spoilers. Cut off if you don't want to hear any further. You haven't seen the movie yet.
Okay, I'm with you.
But for this point, we're just going to give some vague descriptions and reviews on what we thought of the movie. Me personally, I thought that this Spider-Man Homecoming, was
Tom
not
Holland, the Tom
Yeah, yeah.
Holland Spider-Man.
Tom Holland Spider-Man, was not only the greatest Spider-Man movie I've ever seen.
You didn't like emo Spidey?
I didn't like emo Spidey, but I think it was the greatest Marvel movie since Iron Man.
That's a huge stretch. man.
Yeah, that is huge.
I
But
thought it was very good. I was very deeply compelled in the film. I haven't felt that kind of magic since Iron Man. I don't think it can top
The
it.
first Iron
but
Man.
Yeah. But I thought it was very good. Spider-Man Homecoming is definitely something to put if you have any collection of Marvel movies.
So in the
down
rank
your
of your
list.
MCU movies is second now,
Second.
behind Iron Man.
Yeah. Avengers would be third.
Wow.
Yeah. I can see some disagreement in the crowd.
yeah, I don't know
It's,
about
it's,
that.
it's a weird order. It's the first time I've heard this order.
Okay. Well, what do you got?
Most of the time, people would put like the Avengers first, or me personally, I'd put the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians
first.
is good too. You know what? Okay. Yeah. Guardians is my third. I lied. Avengers fourth.
Guardians is probably my favorite MCU movie because we can't count Deadpool. Deadpool's still Fox.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
I'd definitely go with Winter Soldier. And then
You like the Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier. Then Civil War. And then I would go with... Oh, it's so hard. Probably Avengers. And then Spidey. Spidey knocked off Ant-Man for me.
What about Doctor Strange? Wasn't
Doctor Strange
up
is
there?
so good
Strange is
too.
so good.
They just make so many good movies. It's so hard to.
The MCU is so
when
good.
we do our marathon, that's one thing that we should kind of go over and kind of figure out what you think.
Exactly which
yeah.
one we should watch, because they kind of have some continuity. You got to see Ant-Man before you see Spider-Man. You got to see Age of Ultron before you see Ant-Man, and you got to see Avengers before you see Age of Ultron, right? Might follow me
Well,
now?
I mean, the Avengers before Age of Ultron, yeah, but like, you can just kind of throw in a couple things here and there because the only ones that have continuation are Avengers, Civil War, and Spidey.
Well, I mean, we got to start with Iron Man. That's where it all came about.
That's where it all began. That's Marvel. That was Marvel's climb. And
Yeah.
That was
to
like, hey,
greatness.
maybe we should make a whole fucking series out of this one concept, and then it just branched up in there with several different levels.
We'll talk about it. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, well, this is gonna be a long debate. We're gonna try to get a good,
It's a big tangent.
good order.
Zach, what did you think about Spider-Man: Homecoming?
It was a good movie. It was probably the better of the Spidey adaptations. I didn't like the Tobey Maguire, except for with the exception of Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire.
With
With
Doc
Dr.
Ock?
Octopus, that was probably... I agree with a lot of the reviews I read. That was still probably the best Spider-Man movie they've made.
Okay.
But I didn't like Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield was better than Tobey Maguire, but still not the greatest. Tom Holland and the creators who did this one made it feel more at home with the comics, like where he was actually mentored by Tony Stark, and Tony Stark had a huge help in it. Because I mean, I know it's not the original storyline, but somewhere along the line of the 30 revamps they've done of Spider-Man, he was mentored in a couple of them by Iron Man. And so that was pretty good how they did that adaptation. They actually got a character who looked and is the age that Peter Parker was when he first got his powers. So all in all, they stuck really close to the comics, which is what I really enjoyed. So I would probably give it an 8 out of 10.
Did you know Tom Holland's actually 21?
Tom Holland is
learned
21.
That. I
but
just learned that from Cameron today. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah,
he's
but
Looks like
a
he's
child.
15.
Yeah, but he looks
easily
young.
played the
Yeah.
part. Like a really ripped 15-year-old.
Oh, he's cut too.
Yeah, I
For a
know.
little scrawny guy, he's like Cameron. Look at him. Cameron's getting big now. He's been hitting the gym.
Thank you, sir.
What about you, Justin?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I give it definitely probably like a 8.4 if I was like...
You just had to
IMDb.
top me, huh? You just
Yeah.
had to give that little extra bump.
I give it an 8.4, but I love the Marvel Universe as a whole. So, I don't know, maybe I'm very biased.
You like Thor 2 and the Hulk?
I
The
still
first Thor
watch
was-
some, and I still do watch them. So.
The first Thor wasn't my favorite. I didn't really like the first Thor movie.
Yeah. And I still watch the Hulk with Edward Norton.
It wasn't a terrible one.
It wasn't terrible.
It was better than Eric Bana.
Yeah. But
Was that from the 70s or the 90s?
No, that was early 2000s.
That was the early. That was.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
that
that
one
was-
where he
was
fought,
terrible.
where he fought the 3 mutant dogs.
Yeah.
And then, like, that tan version of him at
What?
the end in San Francisco. Or was that the second one? Was that, like, the sequel? I can't remember.
I forget, but it was terrible.
They were
It was
bad.
god
Did
awful.
Ferrigno the Hulk at one point?
No, yes,
Yeah.
in the show.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, they had an actor for Bruce Banner, and then when he went Hulkmania, it was Lou Ferrigno in body paint.
Yeah, okay.
But I love Tom Holland as a whole.
Oh,
I mean,
he's so
he was
good.
great. His
He's like James McAvoy. He's good at hiding his British accent.
yeah, that's
He's,
it.
He's British.
He's British.
He's British.
Nuh-uh.
He's
Yeah.
like what's his nuts from you've never seen The Walking Dead, but Rick Grimes, whoever I forget his name that plays him, but
That's what I'm saying. James McAvoy, the guy who played Professor X.
yeah.
Well, if you go back and watch Wanted, you would never have known he was British.
Yeah, he's really good. But Tom Holland was
Andrew Lincoln.
amazing. I loved all the characters are great, but I didn't really like Liz. I didn't like her.
You don't like Liz?
No, I agree.
Oh,
with you on
Andrew
that
Lincoln,
one.
that's what his name is.
Yeah.
I forgot. But Zendaya.
Zenday's
Michelle,
character,
yeah, she was
MJ.
awesome. Yeah, she's my favorite, hands down. And Ned.
Ned
Little
is
chunky guy.
cool as shit.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Ned was cool.
But I love what they did with Flash Thompson. They didn't make him some big gigantic jock or
Football,
anything.
yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys how it was whenever you guys were in school.
Okay, guys. This is the spoiler boundary I'm giving right now.
Okay.
From this point on, we are actually going to be talking about the plot itself. So if you haven't seen the film yet, for some odd reason, get to the theater, and if you don't want to be spoiled, and stop listening right about here.
Go.
Spider-Man dies.
No.
Sorry, guys, I had to do it.
And there's no sequel.
That's
He's
it.
not in the Infinity War. He's done.
He's done. That's why Donald Glover came in. He's Miles Morales now. No.
Oh, there you go.
He's Miles Morales' uncle.
No, he's Static Shock, I think, and then he gets his birth to Miles Morales.
Wrong universe.
No.
You tried. Wrong universe.
No, it was a fucking joke. All right, so
But no, Flash
Don't fuck
Thompson
around with
though.
comics, man.
Yeah, Flash.
Flash. He wasn't a big gigantic bully like in the comics.
he was kind of a little jealous
he was a little
dildo.
scrawny
He was
dweeb.
he's a scrawny dweeb. But how often in school did you guys have the real popular kids, the jocks? Was that you guys? Did you guys have that at school?
I mean, I had that. I had that.
That cliche has been wore out over the years. Like, when I was in high school, I was a football player. And I guarantee I was not a popular kid, but I was a
That's 'cause you were
football
like
player.
3 feet
But our
tall.
football team sucked. Our football team sucked. We weren't the popular kids. You know who were the popular kids? The rich kids. And what Flash Thompson is? He's a rich kid. He's just a jerk. He's an asshole to Peter.
Penis. Yeah,
Penis Parker.
Like at the
And
very
I just
end
love
when
how
he's-
they made that decision to make him not this big gigantic giant.
It's like at the very end, he's
Yeah.
like, I know fresh prosciutto, and that was not fresh prosciutto.
Yeah,
It's
he's-
like he driving around his dad's Audi,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you little pompous little prick.
The reason they
Exactly.
call him Flash is because he answers those physics questions so quickly, right?
No, that's actually his name.
Yeah, but he's just wrong.
Literally named Flash? Okay. Cool.
But
Or Agent Venom, if you want to go into that.
that's how I felt about the movie.
He
though. I
was a
thought it was
dick.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got any comments, Zach? You're kind of disagreeing with Justin at this point.
As of right now, I'm still agreeing with Justin. Yeah,
Okay.
I like how they switched up his bully in school. I like how they kind of. I don't like Liz. I don't like the fact that they created an original character.
I don't mind that they created an original character. The fact that I liked her there.
She wasn't that prevalent.
I liked her there because she wasn't like we know Peter Parker. We know that he's not gonna end up with Liz.
He's a hopeless romantic who ruins everything.
Yeah, he's not gonna end up with Liz. He's gonna meet a Gwen. He's gonna marry Jane.
Or an MJ, yeah.
And he's gonna marry a Mary Jane. That's how it's gonna happen. So Liz was a good filler for kind of like like a high school sweetheart, kind of like
the driving force for this one movie.
For this one movie, and I think she was good for the movie, but I really didn't like her taking, Gwen's or Mary Jane's spot for that movie.
Okay.
And it wasn't even Mary Jane now, it's Michelle.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
my friends
about
call
that.
me MJ.
Yeah, I've read a lot of stuff about that because right whenever I saw that, of course, I went to Google and was like,
what is this bullshit?
What is this? And then the writers just said that they put it in there as like kind of like a nod to
There's an MJ.
Yeah, to the originals and stuff like that.
Fucking guy.
She's not Mary Jane or anything like that. She's not going to play the place of Mary Jane or anything of that nature. So.
They can't replace Kirsten Dunst.
It had the same relevance as a Stan Lee cameo, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nothing really affecting the plot too much.
Oh man, that saddens me.
So, essentially what goes on in the movie itself, so you see Peter Parker is at school, and lo and behold, he's got a crush on Liz, and she's got a crush on him. And then, what's it called? I guess their first encounter with the main villain, the not Batman, played by Michael Keaton. Vulture. I think Bird Person every time I see him, but
which I like that too. They picked a B-ranked villain.
Yeah.
As the main.
Yeah,
as
he's
the
one of
main
his first
antagonist.
villains. So.
I mean, he's no condiment king.
He's one of the condiment king. Yeah, he was one of Spider-Man's first villains way back in the day, but he's slowly been downgraded to a B-rated villain.
I think Vulture was a good choice for this.
And I think Michael Keaton was a great choice for this.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Oh my god.
Going back into the superhero genre, I see.
But he's going back to the other spectrum of it. I mean, to make a good villain, you have to know how to play a good hero as well. And he did a phenomenal job as Batman. He will be my Batman.
Clearly,
ever.
He lived long enough to see himself become the villain.
Have you seen Hawkman? when he did the Hawkman movie?
Hawkman. No.
I'll give you the link to it. It's an indie movie. It's kind of weird, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll tell you more about it later because this has nothing to do with our topic today.
Good. Let's avoid these tangents.
Oh yeah, no, you're not. You're one to talk, Mr. Tangent King.
I try my fucking best, man. This ADD spurting off on all these. Hey, do you want to go biking?
Dude,
You do need Birdman. Birdman.
Bird
2014.
Yes,
yeah, I've
Birdman.
seen. Yeah, I was like Hawkman.
When I say Hawkman,
I was like,
Birdman.
yeah, I don't think he played.
Birdman. That was a
Yeah.
movie.
So,
Hawkman.
Vulture's in play. Essentially, Lando Calrissian, Donald Glover meets up. What was his name in the film? Do you know?
Aaron Davis.
Aaron Davis.
Aaron Davis meets up with these two guys
Miles
who are
Morales'
selling.
uncle and the Prowler.
But you missed the key part, man.
What did I miss?
The beginning. Whenever you're introduced to Michael Keaton, he wasn't just a villain.
He was your average
He was
Joe.
your average Joe, and he got screwed over
By Tony Stark.
By Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And he was cleaning up all the wreckage from everything that
The shit
happened
that he
from
fucking
the
made.
Battle of
Yeah.
New York.
And he spent all his money to help his crew out and everything like that. And then Tony Stark took his contract away from him, gave it to the damage control, and then now he's out of a job. His crew's out of a job. So what does he do?
But they kept
He
the
goes and
little
makes-
the little
the
purple
one
power
tow truck.
sources
Yeah.
from the Chitauri.
Chitauri energy source, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one of his guys figured out that you can make that this is an energy source, and they started developing weapons out of these.
What was awesome about that is like they made their villain like they normally do.
They made him almost like a sympathetic villain.
Yeah, they do that a lot of the time, especially with like what's his name from Civil War? The
Bucky?
Oh, Bucky. Was that it?
no, for that was Winter Soldier, but I forget his
Civil
name.
War
The-
revolved around Bucky.
No, the guy
Everyone was
that put everything into place.
Baron von Zemo.
Yeah, Zemo.
Baron von Zemo.
Yeah. I mean, he was very
Sympathetic.
Sympathetic. You know why he's doing it. He's got an actual reason why family died, everything, so it's that. I like how they do that with their villains.
Yeah, I
know?
mean, you're more of a villain kind of guy, right, Justin?
Yeah, I like my villains because I think the superhero is only as good as his villain, And
Very good point.
This is true.
Yeah. But then they cut to Civil War. The
funny thing was,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
funny thing was, it gave you a time span too, because when he's cleaning up the Battle of New York and all the Chitauri, after he finds out it's an energy source, it says 8 years later.
Yeah, 8 years later.
So it gives you a time span. So at the time of the Battle of New York, Peter Parker was only 7 years old.
7 years old. Yeah.
7 years old because he's 15 in the movie. So he's only 7 years old. That's how long ago the Battle of New York was in the MCU. So all the movies after the very first Avengers takes place in an 8 year span.
Mm-hmm. And then they cut to Civil War. Shows Tom Holland making his own little video diary.
He's doing a little personal vlog.
Yeah, John Favreau's got him driving around as Happy Hogan.
Gilmore.
Happy Hogan. And then he steals Cap's shield. They fight and everything like that.
He's doing a Vidoc through the battle in Berlin.
I thought that was really clever how they threw that in.
That was
It was
funny.
clever as hell, wasn't it? Just to do that.
So now in the marathon we're gonna have to see Civil War right before we see Spider-Man.
Of course.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And obviously they planned that because I mean everything was.
Oh yeah, they were already working on
Yeah.
Homecoming when Civil War came
Yeah.
out. They knew exactly what the hell they were doing.
Do you think you could see in Civil War Spider-Man holding up his phone?
Probably not.
That'd be kind of
Well,
clever
you
if they
may.
did that.
It maybe when they release it, maybe they do like another release to DVD. It's just
Yeah, like a special edition change.
Yeah,
where they
you have to
throw
pay
him in a
attention.
phone.
You have to pay attention to the background. He's like on his phone. Ant-Man gets huge.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like 5 minutes bigger now. I gotta go, guys.
Oh, this guy's really huge. Yeah, that was the first time I've also seen Ant-Man experience getting big.
Yeah,
In Civil War.
giant
That's kind of
man,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
kinda cool. But
Then after Civil War, what happened after that?
don't expect Uncle Ben in this one. This is the first Spidey adaptation where Uncle Ben is not prevalent.
Just Aunt May.
And it's nice to know that people, these creators, they understand that we've seen this before. We know what happens. We don't need to see it again. That's I
Now,
mean,
do we
look
not,
at-
now do we not want to
great
know how it
responsibility.
happened? I kind of want to know because even Andrew Garfield, the situation in which he got murdered was different.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to know their take on.
But I
Ben,
swear to
but
God,
I'm-
if I have to see Martha I don't want to see Crime Alley again. I don't,
That's Batman.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, we know how everything happened.
Right, right.
Like,
so maybe if they don't draw it out into like a 20-minute segment, more like
or
just
a
keep
whole
like 5
movie,
minutes. Keep just like 5 minutes. No, where he was when he got bit. They never tell us where he was when he got bit by the spider. We just know this is Spider-Man. So if they give you like 5 minutes just of like, man, maybe we'll show you where he was. He wasn't at Osborne Industries when he got bit or whatever like that. Maybe we just see he was walking down an alley at school and there's just a radioactive spider from the Battle of New York.
Yeah, and don't expect
Is
to
that what
hear it
happened?
either.
No, it's a theory that I've kind of just developed right now.
That'd be cool.
What if during the Battle of New York, the alien weapons sent off these little radiation waves, small enough to where humans couldn't pick it up, but a tiny little spider maybe got affected by it. And so Spider-Man got his powers from the Chitauri.
Well, hold on. If this Spider-Man, quote unquote, had all of his powers from the suit, what powers did he get from the
He
spider?
didn't have all his powers from the suit.
He said he was nothing without that suit.
Yeah, because he's a child and he has a $1 million suit with all this different tech upgrades instead of him relying on his own senses.
Well, he couldn't spit web from his own wrists.
That was never a thing. That was Tobey Maguire only.
Okay,
Yeah,
I guess I'm in the dark here.
Spider-Man's always made his own
webs.
His powers always consisted of super reflexes, super strength. His ability to stick to the walls.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
That would explain how he was able to push the entire air conditioning unit and like 2 tons of concrete above his head.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that segment later. That's a huge.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's a plot hole, more or less. Me and Justin were talking about this earlier, but it's a maybe something in development.
Okay, I'd like to hear that.
But so yeah, now we see Spider-Man kind of after Civil War doing what he does.
Yeah.
Tony wants him to just be in that, as you saw in the previews, that thin gray area.
A friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, he just wants to be the everyday person's hero.
Helping his grandma out, and she buys him a churro.
Yeah, helping this little Dominican lady out because she was lost and she bought him a churro.
Yeah, and then he's going around helping everybody, and then he sees
the bank robbery. Because Happy's his handle man. He has to report to Happy for everything.
It's fucking snarky too, man.
Yeah.
I love how Happy operates.
I do too.
Yeah, Happy's not that happy.
I love Jon Favreau. He's awesome.
Jon Favreau is awesome. He did so good, like directing the Iron Man movies.
But then he goes in there. He fights the bank robbers.
This is his first experience.
He fights the Avengers.
Yeah,
he fights the Avengers. Yeah.
Yeah, they all have Avengers masks on. It's very quirky, very Spider-Man-esque.
Yeah, very Spider-Man-esque.
And then they end up blowing up his favorite sub shop.
Yeah, the deli and grocery, Delmar's Deli and Grocery.
Yeah, and then he goes out and saves the cat.
He pulls out Mr. Delmar and the cat.
And he pulls out the cat. And then they go.
So for the longest time, so then it goes back to his they do a really good balance between his high school life with all of his friends and then his superhero life.
They cut back between him fighting the Vulture and then sexual tension with Liz until it grows, and then the big conflict, and of course the final finish.
Which I'll get to that later. I don't really like the ending,
Yeah.
but
It's kind of short.
But so then it goes. Ned, his best friend, finds out he's Spider-Man. You saw that in previews. It's not a spoiler. And so he's blitzing him with questions, and come to find out, Liz, his little love, has a crush on the concept of Spider-Man. And Ned, his friend, who they both love Liz. Oh, Peter knows Spider-Man because he's using a Stark internship as his excuse to go out being,
technically it is a
webhead.
Stark internship. He wasn't lying.
Oh yeah, but that gives him a reason to go out and be the webhead.
He's not getting spreadsheets and getting gold coins.
And so that gets him into a party at Liz's house, and then he gets his first taste of he gets his second taste of the weapons. He sees them being field tested by what we thought was the Shocker. We're introduced to 3 villains in this movie, people. We have Vulture's your main villain. Shocker is just like he's a thug of the Vulture, but he's the Shocker.
You talking about the first one that got vaporized?
Oh, I mean they're both the Shocker because of that glove.
It's just so technically the glove is just the Shocker. Whoever wields it, the Shocker.
It's pretty much the Shocker, yeah.
Okay.
And it was kind of like a subtle hint at Matt Gorgon, Mac Gorgon, it's M-A-C, who is the Scorpion. The Scorpion is another B-ranked villain. They used a lot of B-ranked and low-tier villains in this movie.
That's because Spidey's such a low-tier superhero currently.
Oh, yeah, currently. I was
Yeah,
going to say,
he's
who the fuck are you talking about right now?
He's such a... I mean, and they did it great. I mean, throughout this, he's not Iron Man. He's not Captain America. He's not saving people like that. He's doing it with such a... He's got to put his whole heart into it the whole time because he doesn't know what he's doing.
He doesn't even know the true extent of his powers.
I know.
I mean, he's been on training wheel mode the whole fucking time. He can't even access his full suit until he overrides it.
Yeah. So...
But, so we get introduced to a couple of his B-ranked villains, how for 8 years Vulture got away with this thing of selling these weapons, and now all of a sudden here comes this kid in red spandex now thwarting this 8-year plan that he's had going to sustain his family and make him rich. And, so it's all about, this movie is great because it's all about Peter finding himself as Spider-Man. Whereas in the other ones, there was no finding yourself process. It was him experimenting with his powers, like Andrew Garfield was doing that shit with the skateboard. Next you know, oh my god, I have complete control and a handle on my power.
Yeah.
He's probably fucking breaking sinks and shit.
Yeah, whereas here we see Peter falling on his face because he misjudged a web shot to swing, and he just fucking face plants in the city. He does it twice. He doesn't know how to work his suit, which has so many different web variations. Like in the comics, he has some really retarded web variations as well as some cool ones.
I think in this one he had like 537.
Well,
right?
different combinations because he can switch each hand to a different web variation. So combination wise, he had 536 combinations. There's like 20 something. There's like 20 something web settings in his web shooters.
Good evening, Peter.
And so, like, we're introduced to
576.
Yeah, so we're introduced to the electric webs, the web grenade, the multi-strand. Like, he has different stuff, and so he doesn't know how to use this, and he falls on his face again because he's trying to swing and just shoots a little, like, a burst. So this is him still finding himself.
Yeah. And then he goes and, so he finds those guys with the weapons at the van, right? He meets the shotgun.
Yeah, he put a tracker on one of them, and so he had to make his way.
That was
No, the first encounter was
we're still talking about when we first met Donald Glover.
Yeah, and you also met Donald Glover. You
meet
Aaron Davis. Which is kind of he's not as funny as you would think Donald Glover.
It was
but Hannibal Buress was hilarious.
Hannibal Buress is amazing.
I think he's a war criminal or something.
Donald Glover just plays a minor thug by the name of Aaron Davis, and if you've read Spider-Man comics, Aaron Davis is the name of Miles Morales' uncle, who is the Ultimate Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe, as well as the Prowler in just the regular Earth 1.
Yeah, and he also actually gives a little tip to the hat of Miles Morales. He said, I don't want those guns in that neighborhood. I have a nephew that lives in that neighborhood.
So we could possibly have
Black Spidey in 20 years.
The Spider family expanding because there's
maybe not in 20 years, maybe in another 8.
Like 20 in the Spider-Man.
Didn't the head of the Marvel Studios say Infinity War Part 2 is the last Marvel movie?
Last Marvel movie of this. What do they put it down in stages or something like that? Because you have stage 1.
You have like 7
stage
stages.
2, and this is
Robert Downey Jr. is done. Chris Evans.
3.
Robert Downey Jr. is done. Chris Evans is done. It'd be cool if we see Ironheart now.
Wait. Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are done with Marvel?
After Infinity War Part 2. Their contract goes to Infinity War Part 2. They're done with the roles.
Okay, I think it's good to put like a finale towards Marvel because all they've been really doing is just telling a few jokes, doing exactly what's been in the trailer and setting up for a sequel. It's not really any finishing movie.
The whole MCU. The whole MCU in itself. Justin's about to come bitch slap you.
Oh, he's getting furious.
The MCU itself has always been a build-up with the final fight with Thanos.
Yeah, and I don't know how you can top Thanos, so it might be good to just, part ways with Downey Jr. and freaking Evans.
Yeah, because, as of right now, the comics, there's Jane Foster's Thor.
Yeah.
The Falcon is now Captain America. And Iron Man
And
is
Captain
now
Captain America is now
Steve
Hydra.
Rogers. Now Steve Rogers has been a sleeper Hydra agent forever.
Yeah,
And
do you know how that happened? Well, I'll talk about it.
yeah, we'll talk about it later. I read
Next week, Comic Corner.
Yeah,
Here.
Comic Corner's coming. But and then so it'd be kind of cool if after maybe this Tom Holland can keep it going though, since he was so late in the phase, and now we'll see like when we have the new generation of heroes. Tom Holland is now Peter Parker, head of Parker Industries. You know, Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah.
And that'd be kind of cool though if they go in that direction, because Parker Industries has become a huge role in the Marvel comics.
I like it's just how are you gonna make him any older? I mean, he looks like a freaking child and he's 21. So
Bring back Toby?
no.
God no. Fucking.
I don't mind Tobey Maguire. I enjoyed Spider-Man 1 and 2 where he took part in. But,
Wait, you didn't like Sandman?
You know, emo Spidey.
I didn't like emo Spidey. But,
Snapping his fingers, spinning around, turning into
And we're
Venom.
getting off topic.
So
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 Oh, yeah,
anyway,
talk
so
about
what happens
Spider-Man,
is
how
we
off
meet,
topic.
we meet Aaron Davis as well, and then Spidey comes in. His phone rings. It was Ned calling him, which I love Ned, by the way. Ned's amazing. Yeah, and he's like, and then Shocker and
the first Shocker.
both Shockers actually, because they're both there. They're like,
Shocker.
"Did you set me up?" And they pull their guns on Glover. Spidey hops down and he's like, "Hey, shoot me! If you're gonna shoot anybody, shoot me!" And he blasts them with his web. They
gets
take off in the car.
Roger.
He gets another taste of the Chitauri weapons that they've manufactured.
They shoot at him. They jump in the van. They take off.
Spidey's hanging on the whole time,
Yeah.
getting slammed into every conceivable possible fucking object.
And then we realize how his webs are very limited because he's trying to do shit in the suburbs and he's falling on his face,
Yeah, he's
crashing
running
through
across
fences.
running across
Trash
the
cans.
golf
Is
course.
a nod to Ferris Bueller running through back. Yeah, he was in the golf course. He just had to sprint across the fairway.
He's like, oh, you can't
this
web
sucks.
swing
and
in
the
the country.
sprinklers come on, and
Yeah.
then he starts hopping through backyards like Ferris Bueller, breaking fences because again he still doesn't have a full control and grasp on his powers.
And then he finally meets up with the van. He gets ready to jump on it, and then
Vulture snatches him.
snatches him out of the air.
This is his first encounter with the Vulture.
Yeah.
This is his first time actually dealing with a villain.
And I think he goes up so quickly up in the air.
His
that
parachute.
the accelerometer on his vest is like, hey, we've surpassed 9.8 meters per second squared. And the parachute just launches out and it totally loses Vulture's grip and he slams into the fucking river.
Yeah, because the parachute ejects in the wrong direction. The parachute ejects downwards towards Earth, so when he starts falling, he gets wrapped up in...
So then Pedro is stuck in the fucking parachute and he can't get fucking out of there and he just tanks right into the underwater and he's still in the parachute when he's stuck under the water. He's not getting out of it anytime
Here
soon.
comes Mentor Tony!
Until Iron Man slams into the water, scoops him up. He's like, "Hey, you're a little bitch. Don't fucking do that."
Yeah.
He just tells him to stay on the ground.
You're
Stop
doing
being-
everything I told you not to do.
Yeah.
He gives him a warning. I like that about Tony in this one. He gives him a warning before he's like,
Tony tries to step into the father figure role for Peter.
and that's pretty obvious too. Like, I'm just saying this because my father never told me about this, and I know you don't have one. Like, it was obvious what Tony was trying to do for Peter.
Yeah, it was neat to see
Yeah,
him
it
in
was
that
cool.
kind of role instead of the cocky douchebag. Even though he kind of
was
is
still a cocky
sometimes, but
douchebag.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't put this on your MySpace page. I don't want to see that shit.
MySpace, God. But so yeah, he gets his first taste of the villain, and he's never experienced a villain before. He's just done petty thugs.
Yeah.
Then he runs back to the party, or he's running home, and he finds the
Power source.
the power source, and brings it to
Ned.
He brings it to school, and he's beating it with a fucking hammer. And Ned comes up.
Only for you to find out fucking later that it's a goddamn bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it exposed to any radiation, that shit goes supernova.
And then Ned comes up, sees it, and he's like, "What's that?" And then he explains it to him. The two thugs, two shockers, come looking. No, it wasn't two shockers because the shocker.
It was the two shockers.
I
No,
think
the
there
shocker's
was a
dead
girl
by
in
then.
No, he killed Shocker because he was like,
Shocker was
you're
a lost
trying
asset.
you're trying to be too rebellious. Like you're now doing live test fire.
Yeah,
Well, this
so
guy-
Michael
this guy
Keaton
was an
kills
asshole to
the
Mike
other
Keaton.
shocker. And
The
then-
first shocker.
Yeah,
The white shocker.
The white shocker gives it to
The Black Shocker.
Black Shocker.
Black Shocker's a great fucking name, dude.
Which I think Shocker is black to begin with in the comics. Isn't
Cool.
he?
That works
believe
out. Alright, so he hands off the Iron Fist to Black Shocker.
And then
Don't get your superheroes mixed up.
he's not Danny Rand. Then they send a crew out to find the power source. They go to Peter's school. Peter sees them coming. He hides underneath the table.
Yeah, because this web shooter's gonna have 1,000,001 different variations. So of course he has a fucking tracker in there. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, so he shoots a tracker on the one of them and then tracks them to Maryland, right?
They were going to Maryland, and he had to use his school's academic decathlon as a reason to go to D.C., which isn't that far from Maryland. And
which leads us to our second appearance of Spidey versus Shocker.
When
Vulture.
he saw Shocker the third encounter or fourth, but
yeah.
So at this point
he fought Shocker more than he fought Vulture in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They
I really don't.
I think it was about even, right?
I think he fought Vulture more. Oh, if you count the dad talk car scene as a conflict.
That was a very good conflict, but we'll
my
get to
God.
that.
That was
awesome.
that was tense.
And then he goes to the decathlon or whatever, academic decathlon.
Just to bail out.
Just to bail out. Yeah, he bailed out on his
Save
friends.
their fucking asses.
Well, something that Spidey does all the time. I mean, it's hard to whenever you're a superhero to.
It's hard to be Peter Parker and go to Stark Industries internship, you know?
Yeah.
Because unlike a lot of heroes, Peter actually, even in the comics, puts Spider-Man above everything else in his life.
Yeah, and it's something that he always has conflict with, which they showed a lot in this film. And
Every adaptation
adaptation
of Spider-Man has shown that pretty well.
Yeah, and because it's such a huge part of who Spider-Man is.
That's definitely a definition of his personality, which he, in the series I'm reading now, it's still a conflict owning Parker Industries. He has to have the Prowler dress up as Spider-Man just to keep the appearance that Spider-Man is here, even when, Peter Parker's not.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of cool. But yeah, so he's constantly conflicting with the fact that he has to maintain a social life to not give away the ruse that he has a double life.
And then he goes out and finds he looks at the
three
tracker.
guys.
Yeah, he finds
First he takes off the training wheels program because Tony put a huge limitation on his suit.
But he didn't know he took it off. He just thought he was taking off the tracker, and then it was like.
Yeah, because Tony was tracking him. Yeah, so he took out the tracker as Ned was going through the suit's blueprints and schematics, and he's like, a lot of these systems are deactivated by the training wheels program.
The baby monitoring program, too.
I thought it was training wheels.
No, baby monitoring was the video.
I thought that was a clever name for it. I really like that.
I did too. And then they went to, he went and he followed the tracker out to find those three guys at the gas station, three thugs that were working for Vulture.
It was Shocker, Vulture. No, who? It was Shocker,
and then
Mason.
Shocker, Mason, and another dude.
Yeah.
Mason was the big tech guy who built all the Chitauri weapons.
Zach, you remind me of Mason a lot. Like everything about him, the way he talks, the way he acts, the way he looks. Like you are pretty close to Mason the Tinkerer.
I'm a very curious guy.
Yeah, you leave your phone next to me and you expect me not to look at it. I'm curious by nature.
But yeah, he finds them in the van.
Pedo van. Because this whole time they've been stalking the control or whatever it is.
Damage control.
Because
they're taking all those all the weapons
stuff,
and everything. Yeah. So they
from all the events this is how clever the writers for the MCU is, because they link all these movies, mostly the Avengers, into the expanded movies outside of the Avengers. Like, this is all the stuff that was battled in Sokovia, and like there's a little Ultron head he throws out. He's like, oh, that's cool. It's a fucking Ultron head.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was Terminator 2 or something.
No,
it was Ultron.
Okay.
And like all the Chitauri weaponry and stuff like that. Like, they were mixing the MCU is melding together in such subtle ways.
And it's it's like they thought of this 10 years ago. It feels like
Spider-Man is really Marvel's golden child.
Yeah,
it's not like just pulling a George Lucas and slapping on.
I'm just so happy that Sony
gave up their reins.
Well, they didn't give them up.
They kind of just gave them more slack.
It's like they're like, hey, give me some money and you can
You can
make
this
Spider-Man.
good. Make an actually good movie.
Fox needs to do that with Fantastic Four because they've killed every Fantastic
And they need to do
Four
that
movie.
with X-Men too. But
I
that's
mean,
just me.
the only reason they keep making them is just to keep the series alive so they can retain the rights. That's the only reason why they keep churning out Fantastic Four movies.
Because that last one was absolutely
How
shit.
great would it be to have the X-Men and Fantastic Four and all of them in this universe?
So far, so bad. But if they make a great Fantastic Four, I might be interested.
Yeah.
Fox will never make a great Fantastic Four.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, Spider-Man. Which, I guess talk about Spider-Man and Fantastic Four aren't too far apart
No.
because Spider-Man is part of the Fantastic Four or
Yeah.
the Future Foundation.
And then, but we need to get on topic with this movie.
So,
See, he's-
sexual tension grows at the school. He meets up with them at the gas station. How does he follow Vulture? Does he just strap onto the trucker car?
Yeah, he jumps onto the truck because Vulture's coming down from the top.
Yeah. And then he goes in that little the cube apparatus that allows him to transfer through solid objects.
The matter phase shifter.
Only for Vulture to see what he's doing, and then Spidey gets stuck in it, and he's opened up in the Center for Damage Control vault,
headquarters.
where he somehow manages to fucking hack out of it with a TI-87 in a lot of time. With
a fucking scientific calculator is used as a hacking device.
But that scene solely existed for the purpose of
Him
just
getting
developing his training phase.
Yeah, it's him getting a handle on now all the suits,
Yeah.
systems, and diagnostics like he didn't even know about. Because the training wheels program he was supposed to get in stages. This is what I gathered from her saying, "Well, congratulations for completing your rigorous training."
I'm feeling you didn't really look at all the training there, Peter. What are you doing
Yeah,
there?
she makes comments like, "You must not have paid attention."
What was her name?
Karen.
Yeah, he named it Karen.
Well, first was
'cause it's a-
suit lady, and
Yeah,
then
suit
Liz,
lady.
and then
But, like,
Karen.
He's like, no, Liz now.
Yeah,
no.
no, that's creepy. But like, so yeah, while he's stuck in the vault, he has Karen kind of give him a rundown of his suit because he bypassed all his training protocols.
I really like how they made fun of the whole montage aspect too. They're like, yeah, I'm learning all this fucking shit. What? It's only been 37 minutes.
He's talking to Karen. He's like, "Hey, Karen, how much time has passed?" She goes, "It has approximately been 37 minutes, Peter."
He's like, I gotta get out of here.
What the fuck?
Give me my calculator. I'm hacking out of the most secure facility on the planet.
On the eastern seaboard, the most secure facility on the East Coast, and he had to hack out of it with a fucking scientific calculator.
And while
Well,
all
he
this
fucking
has
did
happened,
it.
Ned's back with a fucking explosive device.
Yeah, in his,
So-
in his pocket.
At that point, he figures out that, oh, by the way, this Chitauri
Power source.
power source
Power core.
is explosive when radioactive, which leads me to my first plot hole, which is when they're in they're celebrating after the decathlon, which by the way Peter doesn't get to, because he's too busy fucking being Spider-Man.
Being locked in a vault.
Oh yeah, that's right, Spider-Man. And so he the for some reason the Chitauri energy source goes off without any form of radiation.
They went through
nearby.
the X-ray machine.
Is that what caused it?
Yeah, they went through the
Okay.
X-ray machine.
I guess I just wasn't following. Why did it
Yeah.
take so long for it to trigger when they were in the elevator?
Maybe it was like a real bomb, like 5.
A detonation.
Yeah, like you got
It's a
1
rock.
minute. But yeah, that's what did it. Was that's why he was like, don't go through the.
I thought it was because his phone was going through the X-ray machine and they were hearing what he had to say. Okay.
No,
I mean,
the
it
X-ray
doesn't make any
machine-
sense, but
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
that makes
I
more
guess-
sense now.
Now that we're talking, like we've talked about half the movie now, so my first plot hole has been prevalent through this whole fucking movie. Like when he got snatched up by Vulture in the very beginning off the van. Where the fuck is his Spidey sense?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have my own theory on it, but like
There was no even
he had no awareness of the
Acknowledgement of it.
surroundings,
No.
which makes me think: is he so green that the Spidey sense is there? He just doesn't know what it is and doesn't pay attention to it.
maybe because he's just young and reckless.
Exactly, he's so green. He still doesn't know his
It's
powers.
green. Why do you keep saying? What does that mean?
He's brand
New.
new to having the powers. Doesn't know how to use them exactly.
He is
Green.
brand spanking new.
Why is that called green?
It's just been an expression for a long time.
We call, Marines that were brand new green. So
It's a
But
military thing.
so he's so new to his powers that he may have this tingling feeling that's letting him know something's coming at him, but he's probably mixing it up with like an adrenaline rush from fighting villains and just doesn't pay
I was like,
attention.
ooh,
to
that
it.
tickles. What is that?
Yeah, like, oh my god. But like, so yeah, his spider sense is not
Yeah.
here at all.
It's non-existent in this movie for some reason. Maybe he doesn't have it.
Maybe he hasn't
That would be
acquired
stupid.
it yet.
That would be stupid.
That is a key. That is like one of Spider-Man's key powers.
That's a phrase that people that don't even
My
know
spidey sense is tingling.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
spidey sense is tingling.
Like, if there's one line you know from any Spider-Man film, that would be that one.
Yeah.
Other than like, with great power comes great responsibility. Or the Andrew Garfield one is like, if you have a lot of great responsibility, you should use said great power. But they're just recycling the same fucking line without actually saying it.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a huge plot hole.
But
Why the
I-
fuck
you
can't he
never
sense
know, I mean-
Vulture ever coming?
Yeah, he's got his ass kicked.
It might be the new Spider-Man. Because
Just
they
a
are
lack
they
of
are trying
Spidey?
to make
Their
him
own adaptation.
Yeah,
of-
adaptation. They're making him completely different from the rest of the Spider-Mans. Maybe that's what they're doing with him. He doesn't have Spidey sense.
Does he still have the little metal spikes coming out of his fingers? Or is that?
Oh, he's got the little bristles for
Yeah,
Tobey
the
Maguire.
grippers.
You see them growing. I don't know what makes them stick. Do you know?
I don't know.
No.
Maybe
Okay, I mean it's
either,
through the suit.
it's either him or it's the suit. I don't know, but
That's cute. Did your husband make that for you? Okay.
Bone saw's ready.
So I'm still getting over that. They're stuck in the elevator. Spidey swoops in, saves everybody at last fucking second.
This is the Washington Monument.
yeah, the
trailer
Washington
part.
Monument when they're at the very tippity tip top.
this is after he gets out of the
Vault.
damage control
He
vault.
does this fucking crazy ass move where he's on the top of it. He has a fear of heights, and he does a backflip over a fucking helicopter.
Just as
And
He's
then
like
uses
he's fucking
his-
chopped
his
up.
fucking
his,
wings
his
that he's got.
wingsuit, his little
gliders.
flying squirrel, and he does a web under the helicopter. It breaks through a 4-inch
because he
ballistic
couldn't
window.
he couldn't get enough momentum just by
Yeah.
swinging, so he had to get a lot of velocity by doing a
fucking
completely
backflip over a helicopter.
looping around this helicopter, shoot himself into the Washington Monument.
5,000 feet above the ground without a parachute. That was awesome. And he saves him at the last second.
Yeah, because
And-
Karen reminds him, "Hey, you forgot to repack your parachute.
You're
You're
gonna
fucked
die
if
if
you fall.
you're gonna fall."
You're fucked if you fall."
So, of course, Liz is like, "Oh, my hair out." She doesn't say that, but you can tell by her face. And then there was a moment where you're like, "Oh, they're gonna do
the
whole
upside down
Kirsten
kiss.
Dunst,
The upside down
Tobey Maguire
kiss. It was-
and then no, he falls flat on his fucking face down an elevator
the
shaft.
fucking piece of metal he's using with his web to hold himself up.
And then Flash
dislodges.
Thompson stands over and says, "Do you really know Peter Parker?" As he's falling down the fucking thing. But yeah, I loved it. I love how they kind of took that take off of Tobey Maguire's and kind of made fun of it.
Yeah,
a
that
little
was
bit.
there's a little bit of satire to that.
Yeah,
I really like that.
I like that.
So
a lot,
now we're stuck. Peter Parker. This is a big sequence now with Peter in high school. He's obsessing over finding the Vulture guy. He's obsessing over stopping these weapon deals because he wants to prove himself to be an Avenger. That's all he's working towards. He was told, when we need you, we'll call you for the next mission. And he's been waiting for months now to get this call for the next mission.
I mean, he texts Happy every day after
And
school.
with
No
reply.
response.
No reply. Like, hey,
So-
I'm out. It's Peter Parker.
So like,
Hit
so
me
like,
up. See you later.
he's obsessing over trying to stop the flying Vulture guy because he wants to prove himself to Tony that he can be an Avenger.
So he does this by following the Vulture and his team to a Staten Island ferry.
Donald Glover, he used Karen's video surveillance to get a match on Donald Glover from
That's
the
right.
arms deal. And Donald Glover's like, hey, he's doing a deal with this guy he used to work for named Matt Grogan, and it's on the Staten Island ferry.
I don't think they said
Did you
his
like
name
how
in
they
the-
made fun of Batman sort of in that one too?
Oh, with the interrogation.
Interrogation mode.
Voice?
Yeah.
He's like,
Get over here.
you're not. He's like, you're not really good at this, man.
You're not really good. Where is she?
He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I could be intimidating. He goes, I know you. I know what a girl sounds like.
He's like, I'm not a girl.
He's like, end
I'm a boy.
He's like, end interrogation mode. I'm not a girl.
So he finds the location of where the next arms deal is going to be, which is the Staten Island ferry, to which I guess you could say he royally fucks up.
He stops the arms deal, but the FBI was waiting to bust the arms deal. So he gets into a fight with the Shocker and wins because the Shocker doesn't know how to use this glove that he just inherited from a dead dude. And this is his third encounter with the Vulture. He actually has a little bit more of a fight with him because the last time was just a brief encounter. This time he actually has a fight with him, and the Vulture has a gun. And the gun, eventually Spidey gets away from him, and he covers it in webs, thinking, hey, if I just completely blanket this thing, it won't shoot anymore. And
Ha.
yeah, right. Nice thinking, Spidey. And it went super fucking nova and literally split the ferry in two, where he's trying
right down the middle of it.
Precisely down the middle too. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So now Spidey's trying his best to shoot the webs to pull it together, and he misses one beam.
He was 98% successful.
98% successful, and so he misses
that's 50 beams. I mean, 49. That's impressive, but you missed that
one quintessential one that needed to keep everything together, and he fucked it up. And so the ship was sinking, and in the trailer, this is where you see him with the webs trying to hold the ferry together as it's splitting.
It's kind of like that scene from was it Civil War? Civil War where Captain America has a
he's
hold
got
of
the
the
helicopter.
helicopter and you just see his biceps like that.
I think it's Winter Soldier.
Is that Winter Soldier?
I think so.
I don't know. But anyway, it's like
Soldier.
that. Just because, he's like this,
Yeah.
but he's so scrawny, so it was.
So yeah, he's trying to hold it. But yeah, so he's losing grip of the ferry, and here comes Mentor Tony to save the day because he realized Peter hacked his suit, and now he doesn't know where the hell he is.
How did Tony find him?
I guess
Oh,
someone.
the FBI.
Yeah.
Okay, he had
It's
direct
someone-
result
Yeah.
to it, so he was able to locate it in Staten Island.
So yeah, this whole time Peter's been trying to tell Tony about the Vulture guy and all this good stuff, and no one listens to him, so he took it into his own hands.
Tony was listening. That's why he sent the FBI to get them.
But he didn't tell him he was listening.
Yeah, he come to find out Tony tipped the FBI because he wanted Spider-Man to still be the
Friendly
everyday hero,
neighborhood.
the everyday hero, and he gets laid into by Tony. Tony rips him a new one like a father would.
Give me the fucking suit.
No, he takes his
he
suit.
takes away Spidey's suit.
And he says, "I'm nothing without my suit." And what does Tony say
He's
to him?
like, I'm nothing without my suit.
Oh,
He's
he
like,
says-
if you're nothing without your suit, then you shouldn't be doing this.
Which is funny. Well, he says then you don't deserve to wear it, which is fucking funny because all of Iron Man's powers come from his suit.
yeah, he doesn't even have any powers. The only reason why he's not even a superhero. He's just a hero. He's a guy in an iron suit.
Well, he's just a Marvel Batman. He's got billions of dollars. He makes his own suit and he becomes a superhero as a result.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Batman without his suit will whoop Tony Stark's ass.
Yeah, because Tony
Probably,
Stark.
yeah. I mean,
because
Bruce Wayne
Batman's
jacked.
trained in like
He was doing so many curlings and in that one prison. You know what I'm talking?
Yeah, Batman's been trained in like 100 different martial arts styles.
But yeah, and honestly, Tony is. I mean, he's a fucking. What did he say? What are you without that suit? In Civil War, he's like, "What are you without that suit?" He's like, "I'm a billionaire."
Playboy billionaire
I'm a
philanthropist.
billionaire. Yeah, Playboy billionaire philanthropist. But so
You right
he
there,
is something
buddy?
without a suit. So
And we kind of, I mean, in Civil War, we saw that he still has some hand-to-hand combat when he's fighting the thugs and he's trying to get his suit to come in, so all he has is his hands, and he's just like, his reflexes are getting a lot better.
Was that the one that he fought
For an old man.
Thor in the
For an
forest?
old man.
What? Was that the one where he fought Thor in the forest? You know what I'm talking about? Iron Man versus
That
Thor?
was the first Avengers.
That was?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about Civil War right now.
Okay, it's been a while.
But so Tony takes away the suit, and here we see Peter at his all-time low. He doesn't want to go out. He doesn't want to stop the Vulture guy anymore until since he's so low, he's like, fuck it. If my life is this low right now, I may as well just ask out Liz to the homecoming dance because I know she's going to say no. And, well, she says yes. Oh. And I guess that kind of gave him his morale boost to want to go.
To homecoming.
Yeah, to
and
homecoming.
Be Spider-Man.
Lo and behold, he gets to Liz's house, and who answers the door? Michael
Fucking
Keaton.
Vulture, and he doesn't know it yet.
No,
No,
Michael
he's
Keaton.
oblivious.
Michael Keaton answers the door, and Peter is just like, Tom Holland did so good. You can see his adrenaline's pumping.
You see
he's
how
also
pissed he is.
scared.
Really?
pissed and scared.
Yeah, like his adrenaline's pumping, like he's ready to fight right there. But he also has this scared look on his face. He cannot take his eyes off Michael Keaton.
He has the fucking corsage to Liz without even fucking looking at her.
Yeah, he just hits it right in her stomach.
Stomach, yeah.
And it's just like
Also a good answer.
they take pictures, and he gives like this half-ass smile while still
Looking
not
at-
breaking eye contact
Look
with
at
Michael
the Batman.
And
Then comes
Liz starts talking about all the times Pete has disappeared, and every time Pete has disappeared is when he goes to stop Vulture. and Michael Keaton pieces it together.
This is my fucking favorite
This is
part
the
of the
best-
whole
best part of the
goddamn movie.
So they get to the homecoming dance, and Liz, he's like, hey Liz, he calls her Gumdrop. He goes, hey Gumdrop, get out of the car. I want to have the father talk with Pete here.
Fucking whips out a
And
gun.
instead of having the actual father talk, he pulls out a fucking 1911, rests it on the passenger seat, and begins to tell him how. Does she know? Good, you keep it close to the vest.
I like that. I can understand that.
He goes,
yeah.
he's like, you saved my daughter's life, something I'll never repay, so I'll give you that favor. He goes, I'm giving you a choice. Walk into that homecoming dance and have a good time. And if you don't, I will kill you and everyone you love.
But don't fuck
kill
my
him dead.
daughter either.
Yeah, and he's like, I will kill you dead. And he goes, now I just saved your life. What do you say to me? It's like, dude,
You just threatened to kill me and you want me to say thank you, motherfucker?
He's trying to put the fear of God in young Peter.
He fucking did it. Did you see his face?
Yeah, he's like, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's really fucking funny. I love it how this movie is called Spider-Man Homecoming.
It's
But
all about the-
he's only in Homecoming for like 40 seconds and then he dashes out. I counted when we were in it. He's only there for 40 goddamn fucking seconds.
He walks into his school long enough to tell Liz he's sorry, she deserves better, grab his old suit before Tony gave him a new one, and rush out the back door only to get sucker punched by Shocker.
Black Shocker.
Maybe it's more of just that he's actually home now. He's in the MCU now. He's not in. He's home. You know. He's been
home in the
separated
Marvel
from
universe.
all his Marvel characters, and now he's home. It's homecoming for him.
But
So
You think a double entendre going
Yeah.
there? Okay.
so he gets fucking
It's kind of a stretch.
he gets fucking
Come on.
cold.
The Homecoming dance.
He gets fucking cold cocked by Shocker though. He gets launched into a bus.
and then Ned. He's so great.
Because
Oh,
Spider-Man's
I
trying to
fucking
do
love
this,
Ned. He saves the day.
Spider-Man's trying to do these mad dashes to get his web shooters because he's yet to put them on. He was changing on the run, and they get knocked out of his hands when he gets fucking hit in the side of the face by Shocker's glove.
So another plot hole that I guess I don't know you guys can thwart it or not is we see Batman, Michael Keaton's character,
He's
Vulture,
constantly referred to as Batman.
bird person. We see him the whole time while he's chauffeuring Pete on the way over. He had no time to contact Shocker outside the homecoming dance to say, hey, if you see a little do-rag Spider-Man rock the fuck out of the back door, punch him with the giant Shocker arm into a few buses and murder his ass. At no point did he have any time to communicate with Shocker to meet outside of the high school
We
to
also
beat
don't know
the
how-
shit out of Peter Parker.
We also don't know how long it took him to change.
Yeah,
He could as soon as Peter got out of the car, he could have called him.
Yeah, but he... I mean,
Because their
no, and
hideout.
that's the thing, though.
Their
He was-
hideout is in Queens with Peter and the school.
He was at the dance. I counted when we watched it. In and out,
counted it.
40 seconds. He couldn't have been
movie
there
time though.
that
Yeah,
quickly.
this is movie time.
It was 40 seconds, and he dashes the fuck out right in the backside. He's already there, waiting for him.
Well, Michael
punching the
Keaton
shit
also
out
had
of
to
him.
have time to get back to his lair, his fucking
Yeah, so
place,
time-
and start.
so it could have been a
time's
really bad
different in
time
movies.
lapse.
So, I mean, he
Well,
had
then
to
there
get
was
his
a scene
suit.
cut,
He had
right?
to-
In
he
between
probably
the
had
two
to
of
fill
them?
his webs. So you never know.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Spider-Man makes his web fluids in his chemistry class.
Yeah, I really like that little touch in there. That
Yeah.
he had, and he just lifts the lockers up with his super strength, and he's like, "Oh, more web fluid in my iodine canister. I mean, chemistry cast. That wasn't fucking supposed to." But yeah, I think it's a plot hole.
So Ned saves the day. Ned picks up a web shooter, and he doesn't really hit Shocker. More or less, he kind of hits his hand to stop the punch. Enough time to give Spidey the opportunity to grab the other web shooter and start doing what Spidey does.
He just like face plants him into the.
Yeah,
not
he
face plants, but it's
fucking-
just like all over.
He fucking shoots his whole entire body from head to toe with web against the bus.
Yeah, it was great.
But so yeah, now he has to go stop Vulture because now Vulture, since the FBI cracked down on his sale, he has to go steal all the stuff from the plane from the Avengers Tower because
job.
This is the big job. In the movie, Happy is moving all the belongings inside the Avengers Tower to the Avengers compound that we saw at the end of Civil War.
That's upstate New York.
That's upstate New York, yeah. And
So, what was it like to build a high altitude vacuum seal, Mason?
yeah, Mason.
I'm talking to you.
What about
He's talking-
what was it like?
Fuck you. So that was the big job. And here's the big part I didn't like about the movie. Well, I guess I'm skipping ahead. So he confronts Vulture. Vulture collapses the ceiling on top of him.
You forgot about the man in the chair.
Well, yeah, Ned becomes his man in the chair.
Yeah.
He's surrounded by all these computers, and he's like...
He's like, I'm the man in the chair.
He's like hacking into telephone databases to call Happy. Yeah, way to go, Ned. Good job. Great. And, he's the man in the chair doing, like... He's Spider-Man's Oracle.
Yeah.
And so he
He's
steals
Spider-Man's
Flash's
Felicity
car.
Smoke.
Yeah.
Nobody?
Yeah, I got
okay.
that. The Flash.
Okay.
The arrow.
Yeah. He's.
He steals Flash's dad's Audi, crashes it to get to Michael Keaton's
He
hideout.
didn't need to either. He could have just like stopped, backed
He
up,
could've
made a
swung.
right turn. He's like, no, I'm just gonna shoot my web out, pull the fucking car over, and do a barrel roll.
He
That-
says he's
that's
never drove before.
There's no excuse. You don't do
that was a
shit.
hard e-brake drift by shooting his web onto something and fucking sliding it.
Headshot.
But Vulture was monologuing to give himself time to get his suit to fly to knock the ceiling down on top of him. This is something I really admired. Like I've been saying this whole time, Spider-Man's been trying to find his powers. He doesn't have a grip on them. Because in one of the newest series, Doc Ock and Spider-Man, they trade minds. Like, so now the mind of Dr. Octopus is controlling Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's in Doc Ock's body. And Doc Ock gets to feel what the power Spider-Man has. And he went in the comic book saying he has so much power that he could literally kill Dr. Octopus in 2 punches. And that he's holding back all his strength because he doesn't want to kill anybody. So he has immense power that he does not tap into. And I guess he hasn't found that strength yet because he was crying and screaming like a scared teenager would when being trapped underneath hundreds of pounds of concrete.
He did a great job of that too.
Yeah,
he was very convincing.
He was freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
But eventually he tapped into his inner strength, and you can see now Spider-Man is pretty strong. He lifts up a huge industrial AC unit that's taller than me.
I love that when he takes his mask off, it falls into the water, and he sees a reflection of his face,
half his face
and half the mask.
The retro Spider-Man mask.
Yeah. And we get to see a taste of just how strong he is.
You're nothing without this suit.
Yeah, he's living the nagging Tony gave him.
Was that actually explicitly said in the movie, or did I put that together? I don't remember. Like, did they have a voiceover saying, a man without a suit is...
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so...
Yeah, it was a voiceover.
I'm not a
thing,
genius.
yeah.
All right.
And then, he lifts up the AC unit, and he goes... It was, like, right next to it, right?
Yes, Vulture was perched. It was a badass perch. Like,
Yeah, he
the
looked
pan
like-
in to see the wings drooping, and he's waiting for the plane to take off. He's on a billboard, and he takes off just as Spider-Man really gets himself out from under the rubble. And he has to chase him down and latch onto this plane. Now, here's the big thing I have. Throughout this whole... you expect a huge final fight between the villain of the movie and Spider-Man. Where they've spent more time, Spider-Man was trying to direct the plane into the ground and not getting crashed or anything. We had little to no fight. Because even when they saved the plane from blowing up like a bunch of towers and stuff and like destroying...
by no means saved that plane.
No, he didn't save the plane, but he saved a bunch of the buildings. He crashes the plane into a beach, and still he's more concerned. Vulture's more concerned about grabbing one of the boxes, and Peter's
the arc reactors.
Yeah, full of arc reactors, and Peter's more concerned about stopping him. They're not actually fighting. Vulture throws maybe 6 punches, and Peter's knocked out cold, or he's dazed, and yeah, it wasn't much of a final fight.
Yeah.
Peter was more like, I'm going to save you because I'm a good guy.
Yeah,
man.
like your suit's about to blow up because the wingsuit took a huge beating, and so it's about to blow up as he was trying to take away a crate full of arc reactors, but it just...
And Peter didn't... He didn't win. He didn't win.
No.
I mean, the Vulture beat himself.
Yeah,
his
the
shit was
Vulture,
all fucked up.
The Vulture got 2 wins. He got a win against Peter, and he won against himself.
Yeah, he starts laying into Peter. He
I think,
he grabbed him with his fucking
The
Vulture
claw
feet,
foot,
and then
yeah.
it's laying him in the fucking ground.
That was cool.
I mean, it does show a lot about Peter. I mean, he's not there yet.
He doesn't. Yeah, like I've been saying this whole time, he has no grip on his powers.
Yeah, and he's not there yet, so
But he's got ethics. I think that was important.
Yeah,
They showed
and
that.
He still has his morals.
That's why
at a young
I still
age.
like the ending fight. I mean, he didn't have to win to show you that he's growing and everything like
Right.
that. So
I think a really good touch they threw in at the end was
The Iron Spider. The Iron Spider. The fucking the suit that Tony showed him. That's the Iron Spider. It's one of the most iconic
I meant in the
suits.
fight, but yeah, that looks great. What I was gonna say was when Vulture was flying away, they deliberately made Spidey's web fluid go out so that it didn't look like the web was causing the suit to explode. That it exploded on itself. I think that was very good writing point differentiation to make sure and show the true form that Spidey didn't cause Vulture to explode. It was Vulture that caused Vulture to explode.
Right.
yeah, and so I got 2 plot holes there.
All right, go for it.
So one is how is he out of fluid, but he still has fluid to wrap up the Vulture and all of that.
In all those crates.
And all
Yeah.
those crates.
You think he had another canister lying
Yeah.
around?
He could have had a cartridge laying in it. It would be the suit consists of a hoodie and some sweatpants, so I mean it could
it
be
might
in a
have been
hoodie.
yeah. And then what was the one that we were talking about earlier while we were also this whole time, this is after Civil War. All right, that was a big deal. Cap versus Iron Man, they're best friends. They hate each other. They fight about the Soviet Accords, signing of the Soviet Accords. Why hasn't Iron Man made Spidey sign the Soviet Accords? He is a superpowered individual.
Because
He's not an Avenger.
yeah, he's
It doesn't have to be an Avenger. He said all superpowered individuals need to sign the Soviet Accords.
but see, okay, so here think of it this way. The Soviet Accords were meant to keep the heroes in check because they've been causing too much damage in the world. So they have to go through government permission to get to do what they wanted to get to save people. Now, Iron Man put the Soviet Accords into effect. Who's chaperoning and monitoring Spider-Man?
Iron Man is.
So in a
Iron Man-
he's still putting the Soviet Accords in
So
check.
Iron
but-
Man gets to say who gets to not sign it, who doesn't.
Well, no,
this is a government thing.
No,
This
he's
isn't-
saying
this
he-
is-
He
this
did say who gets to take
It
the
was
alien wreckage
130
and who
something.
doesn't.
130 something countries signed it, but Iron Man's the one guy that can be the dictator on
No,
who
this-
signs it.
this
who
is-
doesn't
Billionaire, he
sign
can
it.
do whatever the fuck
This
he
is
wants.
Iron Man following up on the Soviet Accords, but doing it personally. Even
Yeah.
though he didn't sign it, he's still constricting him to what he was supposed to do. Even though Spider-Man didn't listen, he was trying to give him guidelines to be like, you cannot do this because it will cause destruction.
Don't destroy
Yeah,
the
but
whole planet.
you,
You're from the neighborhood Spider-Man.
You get in a fight with your best friend for years that you've fought alongside of wars and everything else with and then some kid comes along and you're like, he's fine. no, it doesn't happen.
I guess
he needs to sign
like
the
I said,
Soviet
he was
Accords.
just trying to be a mentor to him, so maybe he was trying to stray him in a direction that wouldn't cause.
And before Spidey got a big head, why wouldn't I think it would be a smarter time to get him to sign it now? Before he's like, well, fuck you. I've been doing this forever. Why do I need to sign it now? So.
So yeah, to wrap up the ending kind of quickly, Michael Keaton gets arrested. Liz moves to Oregon. We find out Zendaya's character is actually MJ, but her name is Michelle. It's not really Mary Jane. And for saving Happy's ass by making sure all the cargo that was on the plane didn't get damaged, as well as catching the Vulture guy, Happy comes and picks Peter up from school per request of Iron Man, even though Iron Man pretty much said, you're done. And he's like, I forgive you now. Come embrace me as my protege and join
He's
the
like,
Avengers.
Lol, no, bro. I'm out.
Yeah, he gave Peter what he wanted. He invited him to be an Avenger, and Peter said no. Even while he's looking at the Iron Spider suit that Tony Stark had just made for him.
Was that a gold or a silver trim on it?
The original Iron Spider was red and gold trim, but this one it was red and blue with silver trim.
Okay, because it
They
looked
had black in it too as well.
There's some black, like the symbol and
well,
stuff.
like the web and
Yeah,
but,
but all black in it.
Peter says no. He goes, I still want to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that's overlooking New York.
Staying on the ground.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how it ends.
Except no.
Well, and Peter gets taken home by Happy.
No, he's like, hey, is this a test? And which is totally, yeah. And they're like, by the way, he's still totally on the Avengers.
Yeah, we pretty much know he's an Avenger now, but we just got to go grab him from New York. So he gets dropped off at home by Happy, and on his bed is a paper bag saying this belongs to you, and it's the suit that Tony Stark originally made him for Civil War. And as he's putting it on, it does a 180 pan to show the doorway, and it shows Aunt May, and she sees him in his suit. She's like, "What the fuck?" And it ends.
How about Marissa Tomei? I know this was talked about so much over Civil War.
She's such a young.
She's so hot,
She
though.
is.
I don't care.
Who's this
Marissa
what?
Tomei.
Aunt May.
Aunt May.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Well, you got to think, though, like...
Was she in Civil War?
I know we...
Yeah, because Tony went and recruit. They actually showed a scene where Tony went to
That's
Queens
right,
to
that's
Yeah.
right.
recruit
Yeah,
Tom
I remember
Holland.
that.
I know
Because
we...
Tony figured out, hey, this kid's Spider-Man.
All of these fans of Spider-Man, we're getting older.
And they see younger versions.
And you know, Mary Jane and Gwen, they can be good looking, but it kind of feels weird looking at them that way. But now with Marissa Tomei, we're like, hey, there's somebody, you know, she's good looking. She's older. She's good looking. So it's nice to see that they're like kind of spreading it out, like with because we always had that old lady that was always Aunt May.
Aunt May.
She's like,
I'm gonna die if the
yeah,
Green Goblin gets
I've heard
me.
both sides of it. Like people are like, oh, this is stupid. Why do we have a younger Aunt May?
We gotta think realistically. If they're portraying Spider-Man as a 15-year-old,
Yeah.
he's not gonna have a grandma for an aunt.
No.
Well, maybe.
Unless it's great Aunt May.
Well, I mean, they could have like a large span. I know people who have a sister or brother that's 20 years older than them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to just be like, hey, she's gonna be kind of younger.
I mean, she's not even that younger though. She's like 50.
Nah, she's like 40, 35.
The actress herself is kind of old.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. She looks a lot younger than, I guess, what her age is.
But we're not gonna spoil the end credit scenes. That's something you gotta go see for yourself. And I have to add that the end credit scenes in this one were spectacular.
It was actually
Make
pretty
sure
good.
you wait.
It was
till
a
the
bit of a
very,
long
very
wait.
end.
The credits seemed a little longer than usual,
there's
too.
there's two end credit scenes. There's one after the artistic credits, and then there's one after the black credit reel.
Just it gives you like a 2-minute taste of what's coming in the next films, along as a prequel to Infinity War. I think it's a really
it's a stepping
really
stone.
good and that's like that's one of the best ending Marvel scenes I've ever seen in a film. Other than what was the one at the end of the Avengers? What are they all eating?
Shawarma.
I love shawarma.
Yeah,
Shawarma's
yeah.
so good.
I
I used to
never
eat that
had
all the time.
shawarma.
when I was in the
Those two
Philippines.
are on par.
So good.
If you see the film, which I'm sure you already have at this point, or not, go ahead and look at the end credit scene. You gotta wait for it. It's like 10, 11 minutes of credits, but it's totally worth it.
Credit reel.
Absolutely watch that.
There was one when I was first time I watched the credits. I was looking at the names. There is a position amongst the cast for Robert Downey Jr.'s hair assistant. Like he has an assistant for his hair.
His hair is
Did you
fly.
see him thank Lucasfilms?
No.
Yeah, they thank
was that-
Lucasfilms for all the memorabilia that they were able. Or
the Death Star?
Death Star and stuff.
Oh,
like
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw that. Yeah.
They
He
thought-
had an X-wing and a AT-AT Walker behind him.
yeah.
I didn't notice that, but I noticed the reference to the AT-AT and Empire in Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is? Anyway, I think Lucasfilm's always been really cool with the rights and leasing, as long as you get
Well,
one
also
deal.
Lucasfilm
Yeah.
now a subsidiary of Disney, so Disney
Yeah,
owns
Disney
Marvel.
can.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah, it is. So they can just
They can just kind of do as they want to now.
circle
But they
jerk
still
whatever
thanked
they
them.
want.
Yeah,
That's
they
just
still
neat.
did it. not
Thanks,
to them.
Lucasfilm Limited. You're the greatest.
They always do
So-
a good job at thanking everybody. Like in Doctor Strange, they even thanked Brian K. Vaughan, and he did like a 5-6 issue run of Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so impactful that it like kind of made him who he is. So it's kind of neat to see that too. But they always do a great job at the end credits, and obviously everybody knows because everybody has to watch those credits
Right,
to figure
yeah.
out what's happening next.
I'm still surprised when people still get up at the end of the half. Well, I mean, the title
After the
sequence
first credit
starts, and they're
scene.
like, "Oh, that's it. Time to get up." Like as if Marvel hasn't been doing this for a fucking decade.
And Happy's nod to how long it's been. Because Tony talked about wanting to marry Pepper Potts in Iron Man 2.
I thought it was 3.
Was it 3?
Yeah, well, it doesn't he
I
actually?
know, but he said that I've been hanging
Yeah,
on
he's
this-
like, because they're like, well, what are we supposed to do to distract those reporters? We told him there's a new Avenger. He goes,
He's gonna marry.
he's like, Happy, you still got that ring? He goes, yeah, I got this ring. I've been holding it since 2008.
Was that was when Iron Man came out? 2008.
I don't know which one came out in 2008.
2008. That's when Iron Man came out.
But all in all, good movie.
Great movie. Go out and check it out
I
if
think
you
that's-
haven't.
This was a very long review.
Yes, it was. It was like 2 hours.
This was
and
a long
I
review.
think that is the end of our review.
Hour and a half.
Oh, God, so long. Sorry about that, guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to follow us on our social media outlets, including, I guess we're now on Facebook, too.
We are on Facebook at Escape Podcast 2187.
Yeah, we're also on Twitter and Instagram at escape_pod_cast. If you want to listen to all our stuff first, follow us on SoundCloud or any of the other listening services that we provide. If you want to get further involved with us with a direct email, go ahead and email us at escapepodcastrequests@gmail.com. You got anything else from Zach?
Expecting a couple new episodic outlets coming out from us. Me myself, I'm an avid moviegoer. I love going to the movies, so whenever I do go to the movies, expect me to start giving, not hour and a half reviews, but brief, maybe 15, 20-minute reviews of a movie I went and saw. Same for Justin. Justin, what are you going to start reviewing for us?
I'm going to start looking at comics that are coming out every week, doing a few that are kind of new, reviewing them, showing you what's up.
And Cameron, you got any reviews you got to do for us, or are you still trying to find some stuff?
I'm not too great by myself, so...
Oh, also, not just movies. Expect new video games from me. I play a lot of video games, so...
Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to start reviewing stuff for you guys. Next week is our first Comic Corner edition.
Yay!
Comic Corner is something Justin's really excited for. He's the biggest comic buff out of all of us.
So if you're a comic nut, tune in next week and you'll be getting exactly what you want.
And if you do follow us on those social media sites, feel free to share our episodes to your friends, anybody that would love to listen to our beautiful voices.
Yeah, we are starting to be everywhere now. We're branching out. We don't have a lot of followers. We're getting a slow following.
We get it on as long as you produce more content, hopefully a little bit more quality as time goes on. With eventually the ability to interview on Skype, we might hit it big. I actually got an Instagram live video going right now. If you guys want to ask us any questions on our next episode, feel free to tune in. Approximately 2 UTC. Universal Time Zone, Greenwich. You take whatever time zone you are from that. I guess that'd be, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, generally?
Yeah.
If you're in the U.S. Looks like we still have nobody asking, though. What?
Eastern Time is an hour ahead of us.
Yeah, I know, but generally, we're around that time, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right.
So, with that being said, I guess no one's tuning in. Still, follow us on Instagram if you want a notification telling us when we got a live video ending. Go ahead and, if you want, go ahead and track us there. I guess I don't have anything more after that.
No, I don't. I'm Justin Lindsay.
I'm Cameron Howe.
Zach Fielder.
Good night, guys.
Take it easy.